Okay, we've got our basic feathers drawn in, and so I'm going to begin now working the same way that we did on the example to fill in those feathers so that they will look like using the texture, fluffy texture of this wonderful bird's feathers. If you want to draw a central line down the feather, you can. You don't have to. And build your values gradually. You don't have to put them down all at once. Okay. Remembering to leave some unshaded brown to take advantage of the color of the paper that you're using beneath your drawing. This part of it goes fairly quickly. Another thing to remember is that as you move around to the sides of the feathers, that central line is not going to always be in the middle. If you make all of your feathers symmetrical with the rachis, or the middle vein of the feather, right in the center, it's going to look very decorative. It's not going to look like a real owl, more like a stylized design. Once the feathers are over this way, that central line is going to be further out toward the edge, and that means you'll have more white on the presenting side, the side that's closest to you, and then only a little on the other side. Just remember to look carefully so that you understand what you're seeing on your reference. And then try to be as faithful as you can. All right then, our white feathers are done. So I'm going to come back now with the black and start to work on the eyes. And this is just the way that we worked when we had the previous assignment, when we were doing just the head of the snowy owl. I'm going to go ahead and put the highlight in so that I don't inadvertently cover it up with black. And now I'll come back in with my black pencil, drawing around the highlight. Okay. All right. And again. Okay. Make sure I have a good sharp point. Okay, and I'll go ahead and include the rim of the eye, which is really dark. Just as before, I'm working on both sides at the same time so that they'll look as much alike as possible. Just using a very sharply pointed pencil, and go ahead, work my way around the eyes. And add the shadow there. You may hear some dogs walking around. They are a little restless today. Okay. All right. I'm going to add a very subtle shadow. Very slight shadow on the eyeball. It's not a pronounced shadow the way there are in owls that have a very prominent brow feather, but there's a little bit of a shadow there. And this will help to set the eye into the face rather than having it look as if it's resting on the top of the surface. Very subtle, barely touching the paper. All right, now go ahead and begin to shade just a little bit with the black pencil, and this is going to be the counterpart to all the white that we just finished putting on the paper. The black functions almost as an accent next to the white. You want to be sure and maintain a good sharp point. Once you start getting a thick line, then it becomes very difficult to get a good result. Okay? Build up a little shadow here. And same on the side. Okay, you can see how it's beginning, the eyes are beginning to look a little more realistic.